Have you ever stopped to think about how the world actually works? I mean, who decides who gets what, from the coffee you're drinking to the phone in your hand? Well, it pretty much all boils down to one single powerful number: the price. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this idea and see how it kind of quietly shapes our entire world. All right, let's just dive right in. We see price tags everywhere, every single day. But what does that number really mean? And maybe more importantly, is the price of something the same as what it's truly worth to you? Let's figure that out. This is the big central puzzle of all of economics, right? We've got a finite amount of, well, everything. But our desires, they're pretty much endless. So how does a society solve this huge, incredibly complicated problem of divvying everything up? And the answer, believe it or not, is almost laughably simple. It's that single number, the price. It's this elegant, totally decentralized solution that our economy uses to manage the chaos of scarcity. You can almost think of it as the ultimate traffic cop for our entire economic system. Okay, so here's the textbook definition. But let's break it down. A price isn't just some random number somebody plucks out of thin air. Nope, it's the result of this constant dance between what's available, that's supply, and what people actually want, that's demand. Price is simply the point where those two powerful forces meet. And this brings us to a really, really crucial difference: price versus worth. See, price is objective. It's the market value, same for everyone. But worth, that is 100% personal. It's all about how much value you place on something, and that can be wildly different from the price tag. And this is the perfect way to think about it. Imagine this. You've just been playing football for hours. It's a hot day, you're absolutely parched. That bottle of water, the price is, what, £1, maybe £2? But in that moment, its personal worth to you is immense, way, way higher than the price. That simple example just shows you how huge the gap between price and worth can be. So price isn't just some passive number sitting on a label. Oh no, it is actively doing three critical jobs. You could even call them superpowers that make our whole market economy tick. So let's uncover what they are. Yep, just three. But understanding these three functions is the absolute key to seeing how an entire economy organizes itself, all without a central planner shouting orders. It's pretty amazing when you think about it. So here they are: signaling, transmitting preferences, and rationing. You can think of these as the three hats price wears. It's a signal, it's a messenger, and it's a gatekeeper, all rolled into one. Let's break each of these down. First up, signaling. A rising price is like a giant flashing neon sign for producers. It's screaming, "Hey, over here! People want more of this stuff. There's profit to be made." So when the price for green energy goes up, it signals to investors that it's a smart idea to build more wind farms. That price, all by itself, is directing resources to exactly where society needs them. Second, price is a messenger, and it's carrying your preferences. I mean, every single time you buy something, you're basically casting a vote with your wallet. Your willingness to pay a bit more for an electric car sends a crystal clear message to manufacturers. Hey, we want more of these. It's a direct line of communication from your brain to the boardroom. And third, rationing. When something's rare, like tickets to a massive football final, how on earth do we decide who gets one? Well, price does the tough job. When way more people want tickets than there are seats, the price goes up. And that ensures that the very limited number of seats go to those who value them the most. In this case, the diehard fans who are willing to pay that higher price. Okay, so we've got all these signals and messages flying all over the place. You would think it would be chaos. So how does the market ever find its footing? Well, that brings us to the really cool part: the magic of equilibrium. The point where everything just balances out. So what happens when the price is, well, wrong? You get two big problems. If the price is too high, supply is greater than demand, and stuff just sits on the shelves collecting dust. That's a surplus. But if the price is too low, demand goes through the roof, and you get the opposite problem: a shortage. Empty shelves, frustrated customers, not good. But here's the thing: markets hate being out of balance. They naturally start to adjust. The price will push and pull, moving away from surplus or shortage, until it lands on this beautiful sweet spot, the equilibrium price. That's where the amount producers want to sell perfectly matches the amount we all want to buy. Now, I know this might all sound a bit theoretical, a bit textbooky, so let's look at how these price functions play out in a couple of very different real-world markets.
First up, something we're probably all familiar with in some way, the housing market. Let's zone in on what happens in a super high demand area, like London.
Okay, so tons of people want to live in London, right? Demand goes up, and house prices, well, they go through the roof. That crazy high price is an incredibly powerful signal. It tells developers, whoa, there's a massive opportunity here. And what's the result? More resources, construction firms, materials, workers get pulled into London to build more homes to try and meet that demand. Now let's flip the script and look at a completely different example. Let's talk about the market for electronics, like the very smartphone you might be watching this on right now. With electronics, the big story is often all about supply. We've had these incredible leaps in technology that have made it way, way cheaper and easier to produce powerful gadgets. So as supply goes up, what happens? It pushes prices down. And the result is that things that were once crazy expensive luxury items, like smartphones, are now affordable for pretty much everyone. So this elegant, self-correcting system, where prices coordinate millions of people without anyone actually being in charge, well, it has a very famous name. The legendary economist Adam Smith just nailed this idea. He pointed out that, look, when we get our dinner, it isn't because the baker and the butcher are just super nice people who want to feed us. No, it's because they're looking out for themselves. They're pursuing their own self-interest, trying to earn a living. And that right there is the whole idea behind the invisible hand. You have millions of people, buyers and sellers, all making decisions for their own benefit, but guided by price signals. And somehow it all comes together to create this amazingly efficient system that allocates resources across the entire economy. It's a pretty remarkable bottom-up kind of organization. But, and this is a big but, it leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. If this invisible hand system is so smart and so efficient all on its own, why do we sometimes see governments step in and mess with prices, setting floors or ceilings? What happens when the market's outcome isn't quite what society actually wants? Well, that's a story for another day.